Tom Homan, the former ICE director and now President Trump's border czar, is all about transparency and the letter of the law. When they decided to undertake the first large multi-agency operation to identify, target, and arrest dangerous illegal aliens in Chicago, he agreed to allow Merit TV to embed with agents and document factually what was going on. Specifically, how targets were identified, prioritized, approached, and taken into custody. Well, without hesitation, I got on a plane and flew to Chicago. What I witnessed was eye-opening. Here's what happened. Well, we've just arrived in Chicago, and I'm getting ready to meet with Tom Homan, and we're going to brief what's happening tomorrow, what we're going to do, how we're going to do it, go over all the security protocol, because it's a pretty high-risk mission that we're going on. This truly is a targeted ICE mission, because they're not sweeping neighborhoods like people are trying to imply. I know that because I've been involved in this heading into this. They've identified 270 high-value targets. And what I mean by that is these are known criminals and terrorists. We're talking about murderers, child traffickers, child rapists. We're talking about bad actors, both in the countries they've come from and since they've been here in the United States. Some of these people have 12, 15 arrests, indictments, some convictions in their home countries and here, but yet they're on the streets. And that's who ICE is targeting to bring out of these communities. So we're going after specific targets, not just sweeping neighborhoods. One thing I've learned about Tom Homan since I've come to know him, he is very pro-immigration. He's got some programs that he's working on that are going to be unveiled soon. That are going to really indicate that. But he's got three objectives. One, close the border, get it under control. Two, get the criminals, the dangerous people out of the communities and off the street. And three, rescue these missing children. There are over 300,000 missing children. Some of them may be with family. That's fine. Let's identify that. Some of them have been trafficked into sweatshops, prostitution, really bad outcomes for these children. So those are the three objectives. And this one that we're working on starting in just a few hours is to get these bad actors off the street, these known violent criminals out of the community. How could anybody disagree with that? Well, I'm with Tom Homan in an undisclosed location. I'm not going to talk about that right now. But I can say we're in Chicago because this isn't going to, nobody's going to see this until after we're already doing what we're doing. So we're embargoing this. But tell everybody what we're here planning and what's going to happen tomorrow.
We're here to do an ICE operation. As promised by the president and myself, we're going to concentrate on public safety threats. Chicago is a sanctuary city. So every public safety threat, who's a foreign national who gets arrested in this area, will get released back into the community to reoffend. So we're here to start this operation tomorrow. We got hundreds of targets we're looking for. We're going to make this city safer starting tomorrow.
Okay, now, you and I have talked many times, and you're all about three things that I understand. One is closing the border and making sure that people that come into this country come in through a port of entry, and we know who those people are. And they're qualified to come into this country for the right reason, the right people for the right reasons. Number two, taking the dangerous people that already have gotten into this country that should have never gotten into this country are taken off the streets. We're talking about murderers, violent people, rapists, child molesters, sex offenders, traffickers, drug dealers, arms dealers, terrorists. Those are the kind of people that we're talking about, right?
Absolutely. And starting right after inauguration, we've already arrested over 1,000 criminals, illegal aliens in this country. We're going to start with Chicago tomorrow.
All right. And those that you've arrested is just in the normal operations of ICE doing what they do. And then the third prong is finding and rescuing the children that have just been lost in the system, and there's 300,000 plus children. We're not saying all of those have been trafficked, not all of those. Some of them are with family, maybe. We hope many of them, but we know a lot of them aren't. That's the third prong. But tomorrow, the focus is on targeting these violent criminals that are victimizing some of their countrymen that are here. They maybe start with them, but then they're committing crimes in America. They're dealing drugs. They're committing murders. They're doing the things that we don't want done in this country. And you have been studying those people and you built a file. You've got data. You know where they're likely to be, and and that's who's being targeted.
Absolutely. You're going to see tomorrow the brave men and women of law enforcement putting their lives on the line to arrest somebody on their turf. So they shouldn't have to, right? If we could arrest them in the safety and security of county jail, it's safe for the officer, it's safe for the alien, and it's safe for the community. Because of sanctuary city policies, our officers have to go knock on their door, go on their turf. We have access to who knows what weapons. It just makes our job a lot more dangerous, which you'll see tomorrow. And then one thing I want to point out, what you also want to see tomorrow, you're going to see non-criminals being arrested because they have forces in the community to find a bad guy. And when we find a bad guy, he may be with others. Unlike the Biden administration, we're going to let ICE officers enforce immigration law. That's their job. That's the ultimate thing. So if they're in the country legally, they're coming too. So the sanctuary city is going to get exactly what they don't want: more officers in the community and more collateral arrests because they forced us in this position.
Okay, now let's talk about this because I've looked at some of the files, some of the data that you shared, because you guys have been gracious enough to allow Merit TV to embed with ICE and these brave men and women to go on this operation. And so we've seen some of the people that you're targeting and going after. Some of these people have been arrested time and time again and deported time and time again. But when they get back into the country and they get arrested again and they're in custody, nobody's raising their hand in a sanctuary city and notifying ICE, hey, this is a violent criminal that has been deported sometimes 6, 7 times. They're back here again. We've arrested them again. We know they're a violent criminal. Nobody's alerting you to that, where you could come into the jail in a controlled environment without any danger to anyone in the community and take that person and into custody and deport them. Why are they not raising their hand and saying, come get this person in a controlled environment?
Politics. It's nothing but politics. That's nothing to do with public safety. We're not asking them to be immigration officers. We're asking them to be cops that work with our cops. Local cops working with the feds. Do what you do with them. We lock them in the jail, so that's fine. When you're done with them, all we're asking is contact us when we release them. We'll take custody of them and let us do our job. It'll make the community a lot safer. Anybody can look at recidivism rates. A lot of them are going to commit another crime in the neighborhoods against a U.S. citizen or against a migrant community. It's not safe. You know, I would dare this mayor to go to the immigrant community and ask them one simple question. Ask the immigrant community, would you rather have ICE operating in our jail or in your community? They're going to say the community, because even though they're in the country illegally, they don't want predators in their neighborhood either. They don't want someone convicted of 10 DUI driving around their neighborhood either. Most of these people are good family people. They want their neighborhoods protected too. So the mayor ought to be protecting not only immigrant communities, but American communities. His number one job is protection of his communities, to drive crime down, to take public safety threats off the street. But he's not doing it for political reasons only.
Are you ready to jumpstart your health in 2025? Lumen can help. Lumen is the world's first handheld metabolic coach. It measures your metabolism through your breath and via the app tells you whether you're burning fat or carbs. It then provides tailored guidance to improve your nutrition, workouts, sleep, and stress management. Start your day by breathing into Lumen to check your metabolism. Based on your results, it gives you a personalized nutrition plan for the day. You can also use it before and after meals or workouts to understand how your body responds in real time. Your metabolism is your body's engine. Optimizing it can lead to better energy, easier weight management, improved fitness, and more. Take the next step towards better health. Visit lumen.me/Dr. Phil for 20% off your Lumen. You're not just going into an area of Chicago and looking around. You've got a file on this person. You've got an electronic footprint. You have information as to where this person is residing, where they're conducting their illegal activities, who they're in contact with. They've been surveilled. There's been a whole investigation for these people. You're not just going in and saying, yeah, this looks like a building where they might hang out. You have an investigation that has, in the last 90 days, for example, you've had contacts with these people, surveilled these people, so you know this is their residence, this is where they hang, this is where they do their business, this is wherever. That's where you're going to look for these people, right?
Right.
There's something to this.
Many, many hours of investigation are put into every target that we go after. You'll see tomorrow at the rally point where a supervisor will go over the target list. They'll go over the files. We have fingerprints, photographs, criminal history, immigration history. A lot of work's been done. The men and women of ICE, ERO, HSI, they're professionals. They're good at this. And you'll see tomorrow just how good they are.
This is no different than if the FBI, for example, was looking for a U.S. citizen that was committing these crimes of murder, rape, uh, child molestation, child trafficking, kidnapping, whatever. You're doing exactly the same police work that they would be doing to go in and take this person off the street, out of the community, and incarcerate them. Just your incarceration is to get them out of the United States, off of our streets, and back to their original country.
Actually, our work is more dangerous and harder because no one's locking the FBI out of the jail. No one's locking DEA out of the jail. No one's locking Secret Service out of the jail. They're only locking ICE out of the jail. So our job is more dangerous and more difficult because an FBI agent can go arrest somebody in the county jail. A DEA agent can arrest somebody in the county jail. We got to send the whole team into the neighborhood to arrest a bad guy in his turf who has access to who knows what weapons. Dangerous for the community, dangerous for the officers, dangerous for the aliens. Our job is actually much harder.
So by not allowing you access, not raising their hand when they do have this person detained, if they do, they're protecting them, but they're putting the ICE agents' lives in danger by forcing them into the community, into this apartment project, into this building where they might be doing business, where they could have access to firearms that they wouldn't have access to in jail. They would have access to some Confederates who might help them resist, which they wouldn't have access to in jail. They can flee. A car chase could ensue, which couldn't happen if they were in jail. All of that is putting the men and women agents at risk, putting their lives at risk. None of that would happen if they just raised their hand when they had them detained.
Absolutely right. And I will not sleep tonight. I never do before these things. And I won't take a breath till I know every agent goes home to their families the next night. I won't sleep because I don't want anybody to be hurt, including the alien target we're looking for. So this is dangerous.
Well, I know you, and I know that you couldn't be more sincere about that. And I know when you put this operation together and they start building these different teams, awful lot of these men and women agents raised their hand and volunteered to do this. And I know they want to make the community safer. And that's the focus here. This is the second prong. The border is under control now.
We are the good guys. We're in a city, a sanctuary city with the good guys. The ones who want to enforce the law are the bad guys. And the ones who break the law are the victims. It's all upside down. This is not the America I grew up in. But President Trump is going to give us that America back. And I'm going to help him do it.
The next morning, Tom Homan and I headed straight to a briefing room where he huddled with the acting Deputy Attorney General, Emil Bove. Now, let me tell you, this room was packed with the who's who of law enforcement. ICE agents, FBI, DEA, ATF, and U.S. Marshal Service, all gearing up and getting ready to go. These brave men and women were preparing for a day of very strategic, targeted operations to take down specific criminals that had been identified as illegal aliens hiding right there in Chicago. They were about to show me firsthand how they execute these precision takedowns. And let me say, this had started long before we got there because they had files on these people that showed where they were living, what their rap sheets were, what patterns they followed, and evidence of having done a lot of investigative work to try and figure out where they could most safely be taken into custody. Life gets hectic, so we forget to stop and connect. Cozy Earth creates a space that elevates love's little moments. Cozy Earth's bamboo sheets, soft, smooth, breathable, every night's a Cloud9 getaway. Shopping for her? Cozy Earth's bamboo pajama set is the ultimate gift. Silky, breathable, perfect for lazy mornings or unwinding after a long day. Robin will love this. Plus, Cozy Earth's men's collection has everything he'll love. Pajamas, joggers, and more. Comfortable, versatile, and built to last. The perfect gift for your guy. Now this Valentine's Day, show your love with Cozy Earth. With a 100-night sleep trial, a 10-year warranty, this is a gift that speaks to comfort and connection. Get up to 40% off at CozyEarth.com with my code PHIL. That's CozyEarth.com code PHIL. And don't forget, if asked in the post-purchase survey, let them know you heard about Cozy Earth from the Dr. Phil podcast. They deserve this. Elevate your love with Cozy Earth.
This is the first operation where all the government's involved in President Trump's enforcement strategy. You got DEA, you got ATF, you got the FBI, you got U.S. Marshal, you got U.S. Attorney, you got the AG, you got all the government. This is the first one, Chicago, Illinois. So a lot of these pictures being taken today, because I got to send them to POTUS sometime this morning. He's excited about this. So appreciate you all being there. Everybody's got to be safe. Please, everybody goes home today. Well, let's arrest some bad guys and show the mayor of this city that sanctuary cities policies don't work. It's a public safety crisis, and we're going to fix it. If they don't want to help, we'll do it for them. So I appreciate all the federal agencies being there. Again, first one, all the government operations. This is what President Trump wants throughout the nation. We're the first. So let's make this the best. I appreciate everybody here. Attorney General?
Yeah, Attorney. Guys, it's a real privilege to be here with you this morning. Honestly, one of the most exciting things that I'm going to be doing for a long time. My best memories as a prosecutor are being in rooms like this, where people are getting together to do the work. And this is a really important day to show the country that DHS is running this operation and the Department of Justice is going to be in lockstep with them.
Just so you know, I'm not here for the Dr. Phil show. I'm here for our news organization at Merit TV, and we're here to tell your story and have your back. We're going to protect your identification when you want it protected, and that's what you want, right, Tom? And just know that when we hit the green light, that this is not embargoed today, and we're 100% on your side. There's no question about it.
When they come out, they should know what his current immigration status is and they arrest him.
Yeah. But they're gone from here. There we go.
Okay. So, from where?
Right here.
No, where is he from?
Believe Cambodia. Where are you from, man?
No,
Well, where were you born in?
Thailand.
Thailand?
Yeah.
Okay, prior to deport, sex offender.
Sex offender.
Child or who's got the file on?
It was facilitate criminal sex with a child over a computer.
Okay. Prior to deport, sex offender, dealing with children. So walking the streets of Chicago.
What's your name?
Seda.
What's your name?
Seda.
Say what? You have a first and last name.
Sarah.
Say the sound.
Yes.
Where are you from?
Where I was born or where I'm from?
Where are you born?
Thailand.
You've been deported before from the United States?
No.
Never been deported?
But I've been in the system before.
EMD.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What have you been charged with
Shots fired.
before?
I'm not gonna say that. I'm not talking about lawyer.
Yeah. Are you a citizen?
My mom's a citizen.
Your mother's a citizen,
Yes.
but you're not?
Nope.
But you've never been deported before?
You Dr. Phil. You look like Dr. Phil.
Yeah? How do you know me?
No, I seen Dr. Phil, you know, on TV.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is an example of sanctuary cities, right? We got an illegal alien convicted of sex crimes involving children, and he's walking the streets of Chicago. Again, the downfall, the problem with a sanctuary city, that people like us walking the street rather than local law enforcement working with federal agents. This is what we're dealing with.
Yeah. You've been charged with sex crimes with children?
Not really.
Not really? And never been deported?
Nope.
Huh.
Let's take them in and process them, lock them up.
Got it, sir.
All right. Can you get a transport vehicle?
Working on it. Okay.
As we were riding around between stops, we listened to some of the narrative about you doing these sweeps and going into businesses and taking people out indiscriminately.
They don't use those terms by accident. When they talk about sweeps and raids, going in people's homes, schools, even the one lady said going to hospitals. You know, it's a false narrative. That's what they did during the Trump administration. They pushed that false narrative and tried to win the support of American people against what President Trump's doing. But that's why it's imperative we control the narrative. We have folks like you and your show and your network out here showing the people the truth. They can talk. What are you going to show? I mean, that's right. Dr. Phil's going to show them exactly how we do this. So I'm glad you're here. It's going to be very meaningful to the men and women out here who are constantly being slandered by the left media, showing them exactly the professionalism of these men and women out here putting it on the line.